Yeah, guys, I took the tank off. They're actually pretty easy to get off. That's what it looks like with the tank off. Now, see, after you get these bolts up here off, this is what's holding the bottom part of the tank down. You know, so what I did is after you unbolt the tank, I drained the tank, then it slides back just a little bit. Then you got to kind of like move it forward and back a little bit for it to get off this rubber hickey. Now, as for the heads, I'm not taking the heads off because this bolt right here that's under the frame, what I would have to do is I would have to drill a hole through the frame about a 1/2 inch in diameter right above where that bolt is in order to get that bolt out. And I would also need to buy a manual impact driver. You know, I don't know if you guys ever seen them things that are it's like a metal bar. And you'd have to get one that's made for sockets. That way I could use my my hex or the Allen key sockets. And then you turn it, and then you hit the top of the impact driver with like a little hammer, and it turns. It'll get those out. I've gotten the most stubbornest fasteners out with that manual impact driver. But what I'm going to do is these three here, I got them loose. This one here, I'd need a manual impact driver on him. I can't get, and also what I'd have to do too is once I get these fasteners out, I would have to replace them with new ones, which I could probably find those at the hardware store, no problem. So I want to show you how long they are and why I'd have to drill a hole through the frame to get to that fastener. All right, we got this one here started. Now there's O-rings on top of these too. Okay, now let's go over to this side here. Okay. See? So that's up underneath there like that. Damn it, I lost it already. I'll bet you it went. I'll bet you it went down in there. Yeah, there he is down there. Okay. Well, I got something for you. I got my magnetic tool for you. See how this thing goes, guys? It's already giving me problems. Already. But I got a tool for you. There we go. So, all right. What we're going to do is this instead. Okay. So, yeah, that's what I would have to do. I would have to drill a hole about like right there. The hole has to be big enough for my socket to fit through the hole. And I mean, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't try to take these off without an impact driver, without a manual impact driver. You know, and then you have to take off the compression release valves, and then I'll be able to unbolt the head. Well, this has to come off too. Then I'll be able to unbolt the head. And these lights here, I'm taking them off the tank, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the LED lights under this part of the frame here. That way they'll light this up, and part of this section here. But yeah, that's that. That's what the hickey looks like. You know, guys, the reason why I'm not going to take the heads off is I don't have the time to do that. I need that time to work on my house here to try to finish my house. I don't have the time. You know, physical wise also, I'm not physically able to really do it. You know, it's like after I crawled around on the floor here to take that cam cover off and pull the cam and tappets and push rods off, my back was almost destroyed. I had to lay down. I was in extreme pain. You know, and I just cannot crawl around anymore like this. I really don't have to take the heads off. I just wanted to take them off to clean the inside up a little bit. But I could probably clean that carbon off with a high octane gasoline. You know, which that's what I'm going to do. When I get this all assembled, I'll just buy some octane booster and I'll make it like 110. Maybe I'll put racing gas in it. I'll put a tank of racing gas through it, maybe like 125 octane, and that'll burn the carbon off. And that's really all you need to do. That's all I need to do. I also got a inner primary O-ring set because I believe those O-rings are shot on the inner primary. I have to take the stator off. The clutch assembly has to come off, and I'm going to try to replace those O-rings. That's the last thing I'm doing to this bike. You know, because I don't have time for it no more, guys. You know, I'm in a heck of a predicament here. I can't sell the bike around here because everybody around here is broke. 95% of the people around here are going through hard financial times. You know, and a bike like this, a hardtail like this, you can't sell it around here because the roads around here are they're horrible. And that's a nice way of putting it. You know, like I told you guys, just getting around here, it's horrible trying to get around here. You know, so a motorcycle like this is not going to sell around here. You know, and so after I get it reassembled and I get it started, this winter I'll probably pull that primary apart and I'll put the O-rings on the primary this winter. And but that's how the tag came off pretty easy, actually. Now the bolts that hold the tank on, I'm replacing them with new bolts. And yes, I did also get myself a light too. This is called the Big Larry light. Let me see. Okay, here's the button here. So we have frontal flashlight. It has this is all LED. It has the strip light there. Has a nice little red light. I guess this is in case you want to go out walking with this. And this is also magnetic here too. So this will stick to, you know, this will be nice for when I work on the bike. I could actually see what I'm doing now. And you unscrew the bottom of this, and there's 3 AA's in here. I got this used. This is a used one from Amazon. The people had I think the reason why they returned this is they couldn't get it working because they had the batteries in wrong. So it came with 3 brand new rechargeable batteries. Then we got the little belt clip there. So I think this, I paid like 23 bucks for this. It's a returned item from Amazon. So right now I'm waiting for the tube O-rings to come in from BigDog Parts. They did ship that. Everything else we got our tappets, we got our quickie push rods. I could put the stock push rods back in. And I'll tell you the reason why I bought the quickie push rods. Because everyone's going to probably say, well, if you were able to take the old push rods out without cutting them, why did you buy quickie push rods? And I'll tell you why. Because everything I read about removing the push rods from this, everything I read on the forums and on the internet that I could find, everything I read about the push rod removal says that you have to take the heads off in order to get the push rods out, or you have to cut them and replace them with quickie push rods, which I easily removed the push rods by pulling the crankshaft out, and or not the crankshaft, I'm sorry, the camshaft. Then once I took the camshaft out, my tappet slid down, and I was able to take them out through the cam cover, through that opening. And then I unbolted my tappet blocks, and everything just lifts right up out. The tappet blocks came out with the tubes and the push rods. Now, when I reassemble it, I'm going to put the tappet blocks on first. You know, we're going to torque them down, and then we're going to get the tappets, and we're going to put the tappets up through the cam cover opening. And I have these little round magnets. I'm going to try to show you guys how to do this. What will happen is the tappets will slide down, and then you'll have a heck of a time sliding the camshaft in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the magnets on top of the tappet blocks, and then the tappets will be held up by the magnets, so I can slide the camshaft right in. I think that'll work, and I think that'll be the easiest way to do that. So, but that's what's going on with those rocker box Allen screws, fasteners, whatever they're called. They are very difficult to get off. I'm pretty sure they can come off with a manual impact driver, but in order to get that one underneath the frame, I would have to drill a hole probably about that big through the frame, which I don't think it's going to affect the stability of the frame. But there's only two ways of getting that fastener out. You either have to remove the engine, or you have to drill a hole through the frame. There is no other way to get it out, because you guys seen how long that fastener was. It is never going to come out of that hole unless if you drill a hole through the frame. You know, I've seen a lot of guys where they get an Allen key and they cut it down and then they put it in there. But what if you can't turn it? You know, what if you start stripping the top of that? So you're going to have to drill a hole through the frame to get an manual impact driver down in there to loosen that fastener up. And that's probably what's going to happen with this, because those have never been taken out since the motorcycle was built. And I guarantee you, that fastener underneath that frame is going to be impossible to get out without that manual impact driver. So for right now, I'm not messing with it. Maybe in the future I'll do it, maybe not. Right now I ain't messing with it. So I just wanted to show you guys where I am and what I'm waiting on right now. We're still waiting on the tube O-rings. And so I'll be able to get this bike out, hopefully, next month. Or before the month's over, if it stops raining. The weather around here, as a matter of fact, it snowed yesterday. We got snow yesterday. So, All right.